Greetings everyone, welcome to Chess Advance. This is a game from the World Chess Championship. This is actually game 2 after game 1 ended in a fighting draw. So this is game 2 and Ding has the white pieces. So let's see if he'll be able to clinch the victory or will Nepo surprise him. So without further ado, let's start with this game. Ding starts with d4, we see knight to f6, c4, e6 and knight to f3. And Ding goes for the central thrust with d5. We go into the queen's gambit decline, and here a lot of moves you can play in this position. You can go for something like knight to c3, you can play even bishop to g5. But the move that Ding played is actually a new move in the position. Ding went for a very weird h3. Right after Ding played this move, Nepo started laughing. You're not supposed to show emotions like this in a chess game, especially when it's the World Chess Championship, but sometimes you just can't help but laugh at a move like this. And it's not a bad move, but it's just, well, weird. So, but okay, Nepo went for d captures, and Ding goes for e3 in this position, just going for a normal game, not in anything crazy, and Nepo just goes for the very nice c5. Ding recaptures the pawn with bishop captures, and just a6, going for that b5 thrust. Ding just simply castles, and both players playing developing moves with knight to c6 and knight to c3, and Nepo goes for the very nice b5. We see bishop to d3 and just bishop to b7, getting that bishop to a very nice diagonal. And now Ding challenges those queenside pawns with a move like e. Nepo just advances it, and Nepo goes for b4 in this position. We see knight to e4, and the best move for Ding in this position is just to play this queen to d7. And no, I'm not making this stuff up. This is the best move recommended by the engine. Yes, you do give up the c5 pawn with the tempo, but after knight captures, you just go for bishop captures, and after d captures, you just simply castle in this position. And a queenside castle definitely helps black because you get your king to safety and you get a queen rook battery along the d file. So white will try to exchange pieces as much as possible in this position with a move like bishop to c2, but just queen captures, and after bishop captures, both players have equal chances in the game. It could be anyone's game, but instead Nepo goes for knight to a5, and Ding just goes for a trade in this position with knight captures on f6, and you definitely don't want to capture with the queen in this position. So Nepo ruins his pawn structure and goes for this g captures, and after e4, getting those pawns nicely centralized, but just c4, pushing the bishop back, and after bishop to c2, Nepo goes for the very nice queen to c7. And here was a chance for Ding to actually get something out of the opening with a very nice move like bishop to e3, and yes, you do get your a1 rook trapped after a move like b3, and you have to push the bishop further back with bishop to b1. After a move like bishop to b4, you just play bishop to d2, and once the bishop gets traded off the board with bishop captures, queen captures, you just castle queenside. And after a move like rook to c1, getting that rook nicely against the black king, black will just simply ignore you and black will play f5. And after queen to e3, black will just play f4, pushing the queen further back, and after queen to c3, you're gonna probably have to play a prophylactic move like king to b8, and the game goes on with black being a little bit better. But instead Ding goes for bishop to d2, and this is maybe playing a little bit passively because now Nepo gets this very nice rook, and now you can see that Nepo's position is anything a person can hope for in a World Chess Championship. The rook is very nicely aligned against the white king, the queen and the bishop is nicely slicing. If you can get the bishop to d6, that will be very nice as well. So definitely not something you're looking for in World Chess Championship match. And Ding does try rook to c1, but Nepo just mounts on the pressure of castles. And here again with a move like queen to e1, you're still in the game, and after a move like f5, white will probably gonna have to play this king to h1, not allowing any tactics to exist on the board, and after knight to c6, you go for this queen to e2. And yes, again giving up the d4 pawn, but you're gonna have to do this if you're gonna survive the attack. And after knight captures, you go for knight captures, and after rook captures, you go for this f3. And once f captures, you go for bishop captures, and after bishop captures, just f captures and queen to c6. Attacking that pawn, but you just grab the f7 pawn and you're very much happy in this position. You've got all the pieces mostly traded off, and now you're not in that much grave danger as you were. And even just to show you, black tries to be a little bit ambitious with a move like bishop to d6, you just play bishop to f4, and after queen to f2, you go for this, and you don't want to trade for the pieces, so black will play something like e5, but you just go for queen to f2. Because now if you capture, your rook on e4 hangs. So we'll see a move like queen captures on e4, but just bishop to g3. Queen to g6, you go for bishop to h2, and after queen to e4, just rook to g1, and you've survived the worst. You're gonna have to be defending most of the game, but that's the best you can hope for in a position like this. Ding instant goes for bishop to d3, and Nepo plays a very calm prophylactic move with king to b8, and Ding goes for rook to e1 with just f5, and after bishop to c2, just knight to c6, remaneuvering the knight to a better square and also attacking d4 pawn. And now Ding tries to activate the bishop with bishop to g5, but that is not a good move by Ding. So pause the video and try to find the best move for Nepo in this position while I give you a couple of seconds. So congratulations for finding the only move that gives Nepo a little bit of advantage in this position, which is this rook captures on g5. And now you see what I mean by this, because after knight captures, you have this knight captures on d5. And even if you go for this queen to h5, black has this f6. And the best that Ding has in this position is just to go for this knight captures on itself. But now black has this very nice bishop to c5, and look at the pressure that black is mounting in this position. I mean, these bishops are just bishop pairs from hell. Because now if you go for even more material with knight captures on f6, you can just get this queen to f4. And now there's so much pressure on that f7 pawn. Any discovery with the knight could win you the game. So you have to play this bishop to b1, and after knight to b3, you have to defend that f7 pawn with something like rook to b2, but you just get this knight to d2, just not allowing rook to defend that pawn. So queen is gonna have to fall back with queen to e2. But now you just play f captures, just opening up an attack on the knight, and a move like knight to h5, you just play queen to g5. And now you're facing attack, you're gonna have to start to exchange some material. So you play a move like queen to g4, but the resulting endgame is very much favorable for black. You'll see what I mean by this, because after queen captures, you play h captures, and now once you go for this b3, you have to play this rook to c3, but just bishop to d4, and now there's no way to save the exchange in this position. You can try knight to g3, but just bishop captures, or any move in this position can win you the game. So instead, Ding tries this knight to f3, but it doesn't help, as Nepo just goes for knight captures on c2, and after rook captures on c2, just bishop captures on e4, and after rook to d2, just bishop to d6. And now again, the bishop pair is just so strong in this position. And now Ding tries this king to h1 to get away from any checks or discoveries, but just c3. And now there's not much Ding can do in this position to save this game, because after b captures and b captures, this pass pawn is just way too strong. And Ding tries a few more moves as he goes for this rook to d4, but just c2. And now after queen to h6, Nepo just goes for this one last kill with e5, and it was on this move, on move 29, that Ding Liren resigned the game, and definitely what a spectacular victory for Ian Nepomniachtchi in this World Chess Championship Game 2. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll be coming up with another game from the World Chess Championship, so stay tuned with that, and I'll see you guys very soon. Thank you all.